What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another fall makeup look, but today it's gonna be full drugstore. So I created this entire look with only drugstore products, super affordable, and some of my favorite all-time drugstore makeup products. This is really easy to recreate and really good for every day. I love that all these products are affordable. And like I said, this is just an easy look to throw together. I think you guys are gonna like this one. If you wanna see how I got this look right here, make sure you keep on watching, hit that subscribe button before you go, thumbs up this video and leave me a comment if you guys enjoyed it. Let's jump right in. All right, so to start, I am gonna use my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and I'm just gonna use a little bit of this. You can see the consistency. It's basically just gonna fill in areas that like fine lines and texture and pores. So I don't like to necessarily put this all over the face, especially like when the weather's starting to get cooler, because my skin does tend to start getting dry. Like I kind of want a spot treat, if that makes sense. So we're just gonna hit areas that I want some extra smoothing. So just that much. Then I'm gonna use my e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I'm not gonna use a lot of this because honestly, the coverage on this is so good that you kind of don't need a foundation if you use enough of this. That is one thing I love about it, but I wanna put a foundation on today because the last look we did was no foundation. So I figure let's switch it up today and do a little foundation. So we're gonna do a little of that. And in this, I wear the shade 3. And then I'm gonna do my Fit Me foundation in the shade, I think it's 125 Nude Beige. This is such a good drugstore foundation, you guys. I'm gonna just pour a little bit out on the back of my hand. It's a pretty liquidy formula. So you just wanna be like, careful with it. And I'm just gonna dot this on the face. And you can see I didn't blend in the e.l.f. product yet because I just like to kind of blend them all together. It makes it easier. Using my Milani sponge, and I'm just gonna start working this in. That is such a nice, natural, glowy, even base. Such a good combination for drugstore. I love it. Now, I might normally want a little more coverage, but we can come back to that because I didn't use a lot of foundation. Let's do concealer next. I'm using the Maybelline, there we go. The Maybelline Eraser. I have the corrector of this as well, but honestly, my dark circles are not bad today, so I'm not gonna use the corrector. The corrector's like a little more pink. This is an amazing drugstore concealer as well. So I'm just gonna kind of use this to hit any redness as usual, but also highlight the face. This is the shade, I think it's also, oh, this is shade 120, not 125. So normally I will add more foundation when I'm feeling like that's not enough coverage, but what I've been doing recently is I will just go on with my concealer instead, and I'll get the majority of the coverage I want from the concealer instead of from the foundation. And that just makes me use less product, and it ends up just making the makeup look so much more natural. I feel like I look really pale because I'm wearing black today. Don't worry, we're gonna warm up the face. All right, I'm grabbing just a teeny bit more foundation, just like off the top of this, just to really perfect the skin and just build a teeny bit more coverage, just that much. I like to spend a lot of my time on the base of my makeup because when the base is good, the rest of the makeup just lays so much more beautifully. If you rush this part, it tends to ruin the rest of the look, in my opinion. I got these little alligator clips off Amazon and I haven't used them yet, but I know they're just gonna be great for holding my hair out of my face quickly and easily, especially now that we're about to go on with bronzer. Okay, God, we need bronzer so badly. So for bronzer, we are staying in the e.l.f. family and we're gonna use the Putty Bronzer. This is such a good bronzer, you guys. I actually have the e.l.f. buffing brush and it fits so perfectly in here. Okay, so I'm just working this bronzer into the skin, up onto the temple, and we're just warming up the face. All right, and then I'm just grabbing my sponge and I'm blending that out a little bit better. grabbing my concealer and just carving that out. Just keep the chisel, you know? We want chiselly base. All right, we need to set the face now. I'm gonna use the Fit Me powder. This is in the shade 15 Light. I actually have not used this powder before, but I've heard it's really good, and I've been dying to use it for you guys. So I'm just gonna get some off into the lid, and I'm gonna use my sponge for this. I'm just going to lightly set the under eye. Oh, that's beautiful. Look how smoothing. Just grabbing the excess with a fluffy brush, and I'm gonna set the rest of my face with that because we're gonna put some powder on. I actually really love how that powder laid. I feel like it smoothed and just set everything in place really nicely. All right, I wanna add a little more bronzer, so I'm going in with my e.l.f. palette. And the shade in the bottom right corner is so good. It's the only shade I use in this palette, but I think it is beautiful. It has this almost like very slight red undertone, which makes it look so, like I just love the tone of it. I just think it makes it look so natural. Like it's not an orangey bronzer, which I hate on my skin. It just looks so fake. The red undertone just makes it look like natural. How else do I say it? Look at the nose. Do a little bit of this on the lids as well. All right, now we need brows. I'm gonna use the Instant Lift Brow Pencil from e.l.f. I'm gonna fill these in like I always do. I trimmed my brows too much and I butchered them, so I'm gonna do this off camera. I'm just gonna fill these in and then I'm gonna pop on my brow gel. Okay, we are back, brows are on, and now I'm gonna use just my Morphe brow gel. It's clear brow gel, and we're just gonna hold these bad boys in place. Quick little coat of this. So I also have this Physicians Formula Matte Butter Bronzer, and this is the shade, I'll find it. It smells so good, but it's just another good bronzer option for you. If you didn't want to buy the e.l.f. palette, but you just want like a good drugstore bronzer, I love this one so much. All right, so for the eyes, we're gonna keep it really basic. I'm gonna dip back into that bronzer palette, and I'm just gonna dust this on the crease of the lid just to add a little warmth, a little dimension, but I'm not doing like a full eyeshadow today because we're just keeping this simple for you guys. Okay, so for blush, I have the Nude Sticks Naughty and Spice blush stick. This is technically not a drugstore product, but it's affordable and the shade is so good. I'm gonna add some other mauve shade options for you guys below, but I had to use something mauve because that's really what makes this a fall makeup look, is like the mauve pink. The mauve, the brown, that's what we want today. So I'm just kind of putting that on the back of my hand and then using my my sponge to just like disperse the product. It's just giving me a little more control, and it allows the product like to not get messed up on the face because it's a cream and we already did our powders. I hope that's translating on camera. It's so pretty, so glowy. The mauve is just so good. I'm gonna do a touch of that on the lids as well. And I like to bring this up to the temples. Do a teeny bit of my Milani blush on top. This is the shade Petal Primavera. I wanted a more mauve powder blush for you. So again, I'll include options, but this one actually is a pretty good like pinky mauve. I just would go a teeny bit darker for fall. It's all gonna pull together when we do the lip. Okay, so for eyes, for like eyeliner, I'm just using a dark brown from my Jason Wu palette. So any dark brown or black. And then I'm grabbing just a tiny little angled brush. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that dark shade. I'm just gonna do a tiny bit of that right at the base of the lash line, starting at the center of my eye. I'm trying to keep this really thin. I just want a little bit of a defined lash line. And you can see I'm just flicking that out, making the tiniest little wing. Do a little bit on the lower lash line as well. And then if there's fallout, which there tends to be a little fallout with this palette, just grab a fluffy brush and lightly dust it away. You can put a little setting powder underneath your eye too to avoid that. But I'm not using much, I'm just doing the liner. I wanna smudge out that lower lash line a little bit more with a clean brush. So that's it, just a little definition on the eyes. Same thing on the other side. All right, you guys already know for mascara in a drugstore tutorial, of course, we are using L'Oreal Telescopic. Best drugstore mascara ever. Some could argue best mascara ever. Okay, time for lips. I'm gonna use my NYX pencil in the shade Natural. We're gonna use a couple different lip products today though, just to make this like a pretty brown, mauve-y lip. All right, now I'm using this Super Stay ink crayon from Maybelline. What shade is this? This is important. Okay, I'll put the shade in there for you guys because this is important. This I'm gonna just put all over the lips. Isn't that such a pretty like mauve-y brown fall shade? So you can skip the lip liner portion, but I just like to define the lips first and then go on with that. And then I'm gonna use my Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade Ice to top it off. Okay, normally I would use my NYX setting spray for this, but it's not around me, so I'm just using the one I have right here. But the NYX is great. Also, the Morphe is great for drugstore. I like the Morphe more, actually. If you wanted to pull this look together a little bit more, you could do a little bit of that Maybelline pencil on the lid. I'm just gonna like put it right here. You guys know I love my monochromatic moments. And then I'm just gonna blend it in with my finger. Actually love that. It's like exactly what I feel like this was missing. You could even do that on your cheek for the blush. Very multi-purpose, but I just feel like it like pulls everything together. Okay, so here is the final look. Honestly, love how this turned out. It's very basic, very everyday, but it's nice and like mauve-y and browns, you know, nice for fall. Easy to do, super affordable because it's drugstore. So every single product that I used in today's video, I'll make a list on my Amazon storefront and you can shop everything, I think almost everything off Amazon for this. So you can get it quick, easy, convenient, but obviously you can also just get it at the drugstore, Target, wherever. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys like this look. I will do more fall makeup looks. I think the next one I do is just gonna be more glam because these have both been very like everyday and basic. But you know, that's what we do here anyway. So I hope you guys enjoyed it and I will see you in my next one.